Good morning. This is Notes, Unit 4, Day 3. We're going to talk about congruent triangles today. It would behoove you to have at least 3 colors when we're doing the classwork and notes for this section. So it says congruent triangles. We can show that they're congruent when 3 sides and the 3 corresponding angles to one triangle have the same measure as the 3 sides and 3 angles of this other triangle. Okay, so the order does matter, and it says corresponding sides. So I'm just going to look at the sides. This side right here has one little dash mark, little dash, and this side also has one dash mark. So we're going to say BA is congruent to RS. Remember, we name a side with 2 letters, and those are line segments, so we're going to put a line above them with no arrows. I'm going to do the other one. CA is congruent to RT. And my last one is CB is congruent to ST. Now let's look at the angles, the corresponding angles. One mark I'm going to put is A, with 1 mark, which is angle R. 2 marks is angle B. It's congruent to 2 marks, which is angle S. And we have 3 marks is angle C, is congruent to angle T. Sorry guys, this is an S. Alrighty, it says the triangle congruent statement. Just remember that the order matters. The order does matter. So they're telling me to go from A to B to C. I usually look at the angles. It's up to you. You can look at the colors or the side lengths. But I say, okay, well, if they start with A, which is my red angle that has 1 arc, I have to start with R, which is my red angle that has 1 arc. It does matter. We can't start with T. Okay, then they tell me to go to B. B has the green angle or 2 arcs. My green angle is S. Oh, sorry, put triangle. S, R, S. And then it tells me to go to C, which is my blue one. And my blue one is T. And they say, okay, what if I started with C and then A and then B? So they started with the blue and then the red and then the green. Okay, well then if they start with C, right here they're starting with C, which is my blue angle, then I have to start with T, which is my blue angle. Draw the triangle symbol, triangle T. And then they told me to go to A, which is red, so I have to go to red, which is R. And then they told me to go to B, which is green, so I have to go to green, which is S. I want you guys to try this one. If they told me to start at B, and then C, and then A, what would I have to start with in this one? Don't forget your triangle symbol. It says, state the congruence statement. I'm going to use my 3 colors. I'm going to make A green. A has 1 arc, J has 1 arc, so those are both green. B, it has 2 arcs, and K has 2 arcs. And then C has 3 arcs, and L has 3 arcs. So I color coded them. They told me to start with, this says triangle ABC is congruent to, draw your triangle symbol. We have to put it in the same order. They told me to start with A, and that's my green angle. So I have to start with J. They told me to go to B, which is my red angle. I have to go to K, and then J, K. The only one left is L. I want you guys to try this one. Find the value of X if ABC is congruent to DEF. So this is when we're going to involve some algebra. They're telling me that A, I can go backwards. If they give me my congruency statement, I know which angles are equal or congruent. Angle A is my first one. That one has to be equal to angle D. So if angle A is 57, then angle D is 57. I'm going to plug it in. They said that angle B is equal to angle E. So B is 90 and E is 90. Very nice. And they said angle C is equal to angle F. So if F is 6x plus 3, then C is 6x plus 3. You can plug that in here if you want. I'm going to choose this triangle since everything is already filled out in this triangle. I plugged in 57 into here. And I know that the angles in a triangle add up to equal 180. So this blue angle is 90 plus the red angle is 57 plus the 6x plus 3. I know these three angles add up to equal 180. 90 plus 57 is 147. 147 plus 3 is 150. So 6x plus 150 equals 180. Subtract 150, I think that gives us 6x equals 30. And then I'm going to divide by 6, x equals 5. It just says find the value of x. I just wanted to make sure. I can plug it into here to find c, maybe if they ask me something like that. I want you guys to pause the video and try 4 now. These are ways we are going to be able to prove my triangles are congruent without giving every single side and every single angle. The first way is side, side, side. That's what we're going to look at today. If they tell us that this side is equal to this side is equal to this side, and then this side is equal to this side, then these two triangles are congruent. That means the corresponding angles are congruent also. Now, if we don't have all three sides, but we have two sides and the angle in between, this is the included angle. So it does matter which angle it is. If it's this side is congruent to this side, maybe this side is congruent to this side, that's fine. But then they have to give us the angle in between these two sides, the one that's connecting them. The angle that's in between these two sides, the one that's connecting them. Then this is side, angle, side. And that would be, we can prove that everything else is congruent by side angle side postulate. So I can prove that this side is equal to this side, since it's not given. I can prove that this angle is equal to this angle, and I can prove that this angle is equal to this angle. Angle side angle is a way we can prove triangles are congruent. If this angle is equal to this angle, so I have two angles. This angle is equal to this angle. The side has to be included in between my two angles. So it can't be this side, and it can't be this side. It has to be the side that's in between or connecting my two angles. All right, let's look at this. Angle, angle, and then a side. So angle, angle, let me erase that. So this angle is congruent to this angle, and then the next angle, maybe this way. This angle is congruent to this angle. It can't be the side in between them because that'd be angle, side, angle. It's angle, angle, and then another side. So angle, angle, and then maybe this side is congruent to this side. If I have these three things, then I know everything about these two triangles are going to be equal. This is my last one. People usually forget about this one. It's kind of special. It says if it is in a right triangle. Remember, a right triangle means it has a 90-degree angle. Okay, this one has a 90-degree angle, and this one has a 90-degree angle. And it says if we're given the hypotenuse is equal to another hypotenuse, remember that's the one that's opposite your 90-degree angle? And they have to give us one of the legs. It doesn't matter which one. Maybe they give us this leg. It has to be equal to this leg. Then I can prove that these are congruent by hypotenuse leg theorem. CPCTC stands for corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. We're going to use this in our proofs to prove after we've proven that this triangle is congruent in every single way to this triangle. Then I know that the corresponding sides are congruent and the corresponding angles are congruent. So I can say angle A is my first one, is congruent to angle D, my first one. I can say that angle B, my middle one, is congruent to angle E is my middle one. And I can say angle C is my last one, is congruent to angle F, which is my last one. And now I can also say my sides. Side AB, I'm writing them in, is congruent to side DE, my first two and my first two, AB and DE. I said B and E, and then C and F. I know that my last two and my last two are equal. Side BC is congruent to side EF. BC is this side, is congruent to this side. And my last step is side AC is congruent to side DF. AC is congruent to DF. All right, guys, so that is the end of your note today. We're going to start some proofs, and let me know if you guys have any questions.